How's it going, guys? Welcome back to episode 11 of OKnowsSports. I'm your host, Owen Schiff. As you know, this is the best place for all NFL news, my favorite takes of the week, exclusive OKnowsSports Bets of the week, and always we'll recap the week before. Let's jump right into the recap. If you didn't see on my Instagram, I actually did a quick 50-second segment of the divisional round recap. If you haven't, go check that out at OKnowsSports on Instagram. But we'll jump into it here. It's pretty clear. I mean, Baker Mayfield's a lot better than I expected. I know I saw that one picture of him with some hands in the dirt on the Carolina Panthers. Now he's laughing in the bank with the Tampa Bay Bucks in the playoffs, while the Panthers are sitting at 2-15. We'll talk about them a little bit more later, but he impressed me, and the Bucks impressed me as a team. And it was a great divisional round. Lions are quickly turned into America's team. I think that's kind of big reason because of Dan Campbell. How can you not love a guy? How can you not love that guy? He's so passionate and he cares so much about his players. His players love him, and he's just a team first kind of coach, which is awesome to root for. San Fran looks good. A little bit shaky, I won't lie, against Green Bay. Green Bay put up a real fight against them. Jordan Love's unfortunately great. But Green Bay, honestly, they should have won that game. But McCaffrey really willed the 49ers to kind of take them down there, and Greenlaw with the game-winning pick, I should say. Ravens looked good. Not really that surprised by that. I kind of predicted that last week. I kind of thought they just overmatched the Texans a little bit. Lamar played really, really well. I don't know if they're going to lose if he plays as well as that every single game, because their defense is unreal. I mean, I think they gave up like 10 or whatever it was points, but they let up a punt return, so they really only gave up 3. That team's good. This weekend will be awesome against the Chiefs, who have quickly turned from, if you're not directly a Chiefs fan, you kind of hate the Chiefs because of a bunch of reasons. I mean, first off, probably Mahomes being a little bit of a diva. Secondly, the media always loving him. Third, kind of a lot of people are starting to talk about the refs. There's a lot of talk where it's like, dude, how is that a foul? How is that a penalty? That was not a penalty. It's just because it's Mahomes, just because it's the golden boy. And then also, I know some people really hate on Taylor Swift and with the whole Kelsey thing, and then also, lastly, Mahomes' wife. So I'll keep my mouth shut on that. But obviously, there's been a lot of talk about the hatred towards the Chiefs. So I'm rooting for the Ravens this week, and I hope they can pull it out. I think the Lions-49ers game, a lot of people are saying it'll be a blowout. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that game, so I would love for you guys to comment what you guys think about it, because I'm not sure. But what I do know is that the Chiefs-Ravens game, it could end up being a game of the year candidate, because I think although they both have very strong defenses, both in top 6 in every category, Ravens defense winning the Triple Crown, first defense to do that in a long time, I still think it's Lamar Jackson and it's Patrick Mahomes. Like, at the end of the day, those two are going to score points, whether it's Lamar running on the ground, whether it's handing it to Gus Edwards, whether it's Mahomes throwing it to nobody, or he's throwing it to Travis Kelce, who's all of a sudden back to being Travis Kelce again. I don't know what the over-under is. I actually haven't looked at that line. I kind of stay off of over-unders when it comes to the NFL. But I think that could be an overplay for sure, because I think they're going to underplay how terrific those quarterbacks are, just as they did last game with the Bills-Chiefs. I think the over-under was set at 46.5, and they're hit by a mile over. So now we'll jump into the segment that I talked about last week, where we did the NFC East. If you didn't catch that, go ahead and check it out, episode 10 on the podcast apps, Spotify and Apple, and also on our YouTube channel, episode 10. We talked about the NFC East. We talked about the Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, and the Giants. And we kind of jumped into the basics on that and their draft and their future. And now we're going to talk about the NFC South. So we'll go from the top to the bottom in this division. Obviously, top of the NFC South, they won in the last game. The Tampa Bay Bucks. They've got Baker Mayfield, and they've also got the 26th overall pick in this year's draft. I think this defense showed a lot of promise, especially their secondary with Antoine Winfield and Jamal Dean and all the other guys they have. They really do have a unique core in that secondary. And I think that they need help on the edge and they need help on their defensive line. And I think Jared Verse, if he falls to them from FSU, he's a big 6'6" edge rusher from FSU. If he falls to them, I think that's a steal at that pick. And I think they jump right on that. There's no doubt about that. I think the Bucks do have a bright future though because of the guys that they have. Their two linebackers, I'm blanking on their names right now, but number 52 and 54, they took Devin White's position. If you didn't know who Devin White was beforehand, he's an all-pro linebacker on that Super Bowl team with Tom Brady. He was the linebacker of that team. He was the starting linebacker. He was their guy. They also have Levante David. He's getting a little older, but he's still Levante David. He's awesome. He hasn't really fallen off in the last 10 years. He's been the same player. So I think the Bucks have a good future. They'll probably be favorited in the 2024-2025 season to win the NFC South again. Next, the Saints. They went 9-8 as well, but unfortunately lost the title to the Bucks and didn't end up making any noise in the playoffs. But they have the 14th pick. They have the 14th pick, and this is a unique one because they have Derek Carr, and they have him signed to about 40, or I think 35 or 40 mil a year. They've got the 14th pick, and what I'm thinking here for the Saints is if Jaden Daniels falls to them, and I'd be interested if any of you guys are Saints fans, comment below what you think. If Jaden Daniels falls to them, wouldn't you want Jaden Daniels and hit the reset on a potential Lamar Jackson-esque quarterback in the NFL? Personally, if I'm a Saints fan, I'm saying, heck yeah. I want Jaden Daniels running my team, even though we have Derek Carr, even though we have Taysom Hill. I want to reset, and I want, even though we're 9-8, we've been mediocre. They've been mediocre the last few years, and with Derek Carr, and I think this is a chance to revolt and rejolt the whole franchise and the whole team. So I like that. If they cannot get him at 14, I think they go O-line. It's never a problem to pick the best available O-lineman, and I think beefing up that O-line for whoever they have at QB always helps. And if they can't get anyone worth it at O-line, I like the defensive tackle from Illinois. His name is Jerron Newton, I think. He's a big boy. He kind of reminds me of Brian Breezy-esque player they drafted last year in the first round. I wouldn't mind them doubling up and getting an interior pass rush going with Brian Breezy and Newton from Illinois. But I don't mind O-lineman, and my first choice would be Jaden Daniels if I were the Saints. Then we'll talk about the Falcons. They have the 8th overall pick. They went 7-10 last year. Obviously, in my opinion, a quarterback is needed. I don't think that Desmond Ritter's the guy. I've been hearing a lot of talks about them linked with Justin Fields. Unfortunately for Bears fans, and for me especially, I'm a Justin Fields guy, as you guys know. That would be a good move for them. I think that would really enhance their team a lot. They have a lot of interesting key players that are pretty special that they need to utilize while they have them at cheap prices, like Jesse Bates, like A.J. Terrell, like Bijan, and Drake London, those kind of guys. And if they can't get a quarterback, or they don't want a quarterback, and they don't have Justin Fields, and they don't want Jaden Daniels, then I would say that there's no harm in taking Dallas Turner from Alabama at number 8. I mean, he's like Will Anderson-esque player. He's not going to be a top 3 pick like Will Anderson, but he's really special. If you watched any of Alabama, he's double teamed on every play. He's an NFL player playing in college. He's going to be perfect for them. So if they took him or took Dallas Turner, it would not be a bad move, but I do think quarterback first for the Falcons, then look at Dallas Turner if they were able to trade for Fields or trade for somebody along those lines, or draft a QB, then obviously Dallas Turner's out of the question. But if they do neither of those and do not follow any of the picks or any of the draft picks or any of the trades for a QB, then Dallas Turner is the guy for them, in my opinion. And if Dallas Turner's not there, Byron Murphy from Texas, he's a huge D tackle. He's a freak of nature. He's like a Jalen Carter type guy. He's really good. He's another guy who's just, you're going to pick him and he's going to probably walk in and start the first day. So he's another guy at number 8. I would love the Bears to maybe look at him as well. Sorry, I'm not talking about the Bears, but at the 9th spot, I like that pick as well. Lastly, this is a bit of a sore subject for Panthers fans, especially. Sorry, but Ryan Pace pulled a heck of a deal on you guys. So the Panthers, they went 2-15. There was no beating around the bush there. And Bryce Young's QB, it's their number 1 overall pick. They're obviously sticking with him. They're going to try and help him out as much as they can. I think one way to do that is they have the 33rd overall pick. So that's the first pick in the second round. I like a Keon Coleman here. If you guys watched episode 3.5, I think it was, emergency press conference, moving into episode 4, I talked a lot about college football and the wide receiver depth in this draft. So Keon Coleman's a guy who's 6'6", and he played at Michigan State basketball before he even played football at FSU. Then he transferred over to FSU. No more basketball for him. Obviously, freak of nature after if you can play a Big Ten sport, two Big Ten sports at the same time. But this is a guy that would really enhance that Panthers core. Currently, Adam Thielen's probably their main guy in that receiving core. Maybe DJ Chark, kind of, I guess. Maybe LaVisca Chenault, not really. So it's a lower Terrence Marshall, I guess, from LSU. It's a lower end receiving core. I'd love to see them go after Keon Coleman and give Bryce Young an option to create a little separation on the outside. Because currently he doesn't have a ton of options. And I don't care what anyone says. Like, yeah, he didn't play great. Yeah, he's small. Yes, he threw a lot of picks. What did he have around him, if we're being honest? Like, didn't have a great running back. Didn't have great receivers. He didn't have a great O-line. He really just didn't have a lot of options and tools in his shed. So I'm hoping if they draft Keon Coleman and maybe get a few steals in the late rounds, that would be a good move for them. Maybe they could get a few more wins next year. That's all for the NFC South. And I want to hear what you guys think about this segment and what you guys think. If your team's in the NFC South, comment below what you guys think of my prediction for the draft and their future as well. And I hope you guys are liking this segment. Now we'll jump into OKnowsSports Bets of the Week. This is the championship weekend in the NFL, and we're going to do our favorite props and bets of the week. First off, we'll go over last week. Unfortunately, we went 1-2, but our whale play hit and hit well. Rashad White, I forget how many he ended with, but a lot more than 23. That was exciting. That's always good to hit a whale play. Unfortunate, we had Zay Flowers over 50 receiving yards. He finished with 41. Just game script, unfortunately. The Ravens kind of just took it to him early. They didn't really need to throw the ball in the second half, so they didn't. He had one target in the second half, caught it. But kind of a bummer there. And then David Montgomery. That was just not a great play on my part. So I take responsibility for that. But we're back again this week, and here I got a few plays that have some value to them, which is exciting always in the betting world. What value means for those that are not sports bettors is that they are plus money or they're good odds considering the bet. So first things first, we got Gus Edwards plus 150 anytime touchdown. It's the running back on the Ravens. I think this is currently crazy that the odds are plus 150. And I would love for you guys to jump on the book immediately and take it, because I will give you a pro tip. The lines for anytime touchdown and any yardage bets will get worse and worse and worse as it comes closer. I talked about this a few videos ago, but Vegas knows that a lot of guys want to take Lamar Jackson. A lot of guys want to take Gus Edwards, Isaiah Pacheco, Christian McCaffrey. So the odds will get worse because more money is on them to score. So a tip for you guys, whenever the lines come out each week on your respective books, go take them immediately when you have a hunch, or when you see our video on Thursday, take them right away. Don't wait until Sunday morning when you wake up after a hard Saturday night and you go, okay, I'm going to go take Isaiah Pacheco or Gus Edwards touchdown. I promise you this, Gus Edwards touchdown right now is plus 150. I would bet by the time that the game time comes around for the Ravens-Chiefs game, he will be almost minus odds, if not minus 110. So take Gus Edwards, plus 150 touchdown. He has 13 touchdowns this season. He did not score last game, but Lamar had 2 rushing TDs. You can hope that one of those, he gets a lot of goal line carries, Gus does. And also he has 13 TDs this season. And a bigger thing is that the Ravens run the first amount of running plays in the whole NFL. Yes, that's because they have Lamar Jackson at QB, but they run 32 run plays on average per game. That's an OKnowSports stat right there. It's not something you see every day. They run 32 run plays per game. That means Gus is getting the ball at least 10 times on Sunday. I love him to score a touchdown plus 150. Next, we got Isaiah Pacheco over 14.5 carries, minus 105. We've used this as a bonus play before. Personally, I think this line's a little low, and I think this game is going to be close. The Ravens D is great, and the Kansas City D is great, but they're both going to score points. Pacheco is averaging like 5 yards, 6 yards a carry in the playoffs. He's going to get the rock, and I think he gets 15 touches in this game. This line is hitting 9 of 14 games in the regular season this season, and all 3 of the last 3 in both of the playoff games this season. So 3 of the last 3, 9 of 14 in the regular season. Love this line. I'm going to say this is our whale play this week because of the fact of how frequently it has hit in the last few games. So I love this for our whale play of the week. Isaiah Pacheco over 14.5 carries, minus 105 odds. Our final play of the week, David Montgomery, we're going back to him. The big reason we're going anytime touchdown this week. And the big reason for that is because they need to score points against San Fran. They're going to get points scored against them. San Fran's a great defense, but the Lions are a high-power offense as well. And the biggest reason I like this is because, one, Craig Reynolds stole a touchdown from David Montgomery. David Montgomery got them down there on a catch and then 2 carries, and Craig Reynolds got it from the 1-yard line. Their third-string running back and fullback got it on the 1-yard line. This week, I think that's going to change, and it's going to be David Montgomery on the 1-yard line getting that carry. And then secondly, this is hitting 4 of the last 5 games for David Montgomery, and it should have been 5, really, with Craig Reynolds. So I think this is a good play. Those are our 3 picks. We got Isaiah Pacheco, whale play, over 14.5 carries. We got David Montgomery, anytime touchdown, plus 130. Again, the odds will get worse. And Gus Bus Edwards from Rutgers, the Rutgers man, plus 150 touchdown on the Ravens against the Chiefs on Sunday. I'm looking forward to a great weekend of football. Make sure you guys subscribe on our YouTube, follow and rate our podcast as well on both platforms, Spotify and Apple Music, or Apple, whatever you're listening to. Thanks for listening. Catch you next week.